Adrian Newey starting from pole position. Yes, the great designer in Formula One. Off the line he goes, and it's a good start by Adrian Newey. He makes an absolutely brilliant getaway off the line.
He did. I wonder if that was a jump start, though, because we've seen some of that, some brilliant getaways get penalised yesterday, but he's heading down into turn one. The Cobras, the number 7, getting squeezed onto the car, onto the grass, but they're all safely through the first part of Mandarin's corner.
Yeah, a really good start then by Adrian Newey. We'll look back at it, I'm sure, but it's all battling up behind him very closely. Saif Hassan, number 7, is being passed by the other Cobra, the TBR, just missing out a little bit as they come down through there. And it's Andrew Smith who's doing such a fantastic job in the cream AC Cobra. Andrew Smith has launched through. He started on the 3rd row of the grid in 6th place, and look at the lead he's taken already.
He was so brave. He was on the grass at one point, going up through Boardwater, heading through the first part of St Mary's. Now then, they'll swing it left, still jostling for position. The TVR of Mike Whitaker squeezed on the inside there, but already look at the lead from row 3. The Cobra of Andrew Smith has a good gap going into Lavin.
That's really impressive. We've seen how quick he can be. There's some good battles going on further back, some side-by-side action. You see Bobby Vernon Rowe in his silver, very distinctive for AC Cobra. He's being a little cautious on these early laps, just not wanting to get into too much difficulty. Richard Kent in the number 88 E-type, he's up there as well. But what a big lead this is for Andrew Smith, the car that's going to be shared with Dario Franchitti, a winner yesterday at the end of the day with Jimmy Johnson. Well, it's a very good start for the combination between Dario and Andrew Smith. Andrew getting off the line brilliantly well. Further down, there's some great little fights going on as well. The Porsche 904 being driven by Neil Yarney. That will be taken on by Chris Ward a little later. But the gap's going to be quite big, even across the line on the first lap.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'm just trying to see, is that the 88 Jag E-type that's come also from the way back row 4, the Brundle and Kent E-type? I think that has snuck all the way up, managed to dodge the traffic and headed up into 2nd place.
Fred Waitman under a bit of pressure here from Saif Hassan, but Fred Waitman has got that AC Cobra back up into 3rd place. And I'm just keeping an eye on where Ollie Bryant, who started from the back of the grid, is. He's just crossed the line in 14th place, so it has got away well for Ollie Bryant. Craig Davis has got up to 17th from the back, but it is Ollie Bryant, as we expected, who's making up some good ground. Meanwhile, coming under a bit more pressure, Mike Whitaker in the sort of blue-coloured TVR, as he's trying to hold off a few more of the E-types, a pair of E-types right behind him at this stage, and that's Gary Pearson in one of the lightweight low-drag coupes, as also you've got this fight that's going on between that very distinctive number 17 that Tom Kristensen will be taking on later. Fred Waitman driving right now, very unique Frank Costin designed and Lister Jaguar coupe, and let's go on board and get a bit of action as well up in that front group. This is the number 77 car that we're on board, Gary Pearson. So he's actually made a pretty good start, having started from 12th place on the grid. It'll be Romain Dumas later in the car. I think I'm pretty sure it's Gary who's in the car right now.
Yeah, it's Gary in the car right now.
And he's a part of this battle as they're coming up towards the final end of this lap up into Woodcote. And everybody, you can almost see they're just being a little cautious, but battle for the lead, I think, is actually going to be starting to build up. As you said, that leap forward by Richard Kent, he is now catching the race leader as well, so that's going extremely quickly. And it also looks to me as though Bobby Vernon Rowe, number 94, is beginning to put a bit more pressure on Fred Waitman for 3rd position. In the background, I'm keeping an eye open for Ollie Bryant, and you can't see him in the background now with that gold centre on the red AC Cobra in the background. Meanwhile, this fight for 3rd place is continuing. Fred Waitman just fending off Bobby Vernon Rowe, and Ollie Bryant has got himself up into 10th place already.
Yeah, you can still see from the rear view shot we're getting at the moment, still a bit of standing water, variety of lines there, a bit more use of curve from the AC Cobra that we can see, the snake-eyed using a little bit more curve. It's a bit braver on the brakes, a bit more stable on the brakes heading into the first part of St Mary's. Swing it back to the right-hand side for the left part. But certainly, looking at our sector screen, Ben, the Kent and Brundle Jaguar is hunting down, closing down on the Smith and Franchitti car. We're going to have a replay. Let's see what's happening in the background. A bit of rubbing of door. Wow, nearly. Fag paper width there between the TVR. But here, this is the race for the lead, Ben.
It is, absolutely, and this is a very, very close battle. It's wonderful to watch. Is this going to be a change? As we could see Kent trying to come through at the moment. It is proving to be a really good challenge. Richard Kent in second place at the moment, as Andrew Smith took that brilliant start from 6th place on the grid. And Richard Kent has managed to close the gap and set the fastest lap. 1:47.211 was the previous lap. There had been a second between them, 1.1, but over the line this time that gap has reduced even further. Now, how hard does he go for it? Remember, the E-type in the wet conditions can have a bit more balance than the leading AC Cobra. So we'll just have to see. Mind you, that Cobra has gone so well in these wet conditions, but it may be coming under quite a lot more pressure as we continue. Meanwhile, it looks as though Mike Whitaker is going to lose, yes, another position as Whitaker. Oh, in fact, Ollie Bryant
in the top 6.
Yeah, he's moved up even further now. So Ollie Bryant into 6th place. Jake Hill was telling us he knew that top 5 was possible. I think even more is possible now as he goes chasing after Gary Pearson. And there's no doubt that Mike Whitaker is missing out a bit with the TDR. He did say it is tricky in the wet, and he is losing a little bit of time at the moment, but he will be handing over to Tom Ingram, remember? Well, a big slide there for Ollie Bryant. But remember, this is the car that started from the very back of the grid, and it is already in 6th position. And he's chasing down after Gary Pearson, who's a very successful Goodwood racer over so many years. He's been doing this event really since it all began in 1998. He's very involved in the restoration and of cars as well. We've still got the battle for the lead going on though as well, and this could be a change. Richard Kent is having a move to one side and then the other. Which way is he going to go? Yeah,
they're down into the tricky braking zone into Woodcote. Both of them seem to get the car stopped nicely. We've had the 13 has gone off into the gravel. That was a bit
Sean
further
Lynn
down the order. Sean Lynn, actually, I think he might have gained a couple of places. It's the AC Cobra Le Mans Coupe, but back to the battle out front. A little bit wide for Smith. Is going to open the outside door, or is it the E-type squirming all over the road, desperately trying to get some grip? But I think he may have done it. He may brave it round the outside. Does Kent? Let's have a little look. Yeah, let's have a look. Where's the drive bit? There's a drive bit on the inside initially, but now he's trying to go around the outside. Richard Kent around the outside, through the Madrid corner, and yes, he thinks he's done it. Yeah, he has. Brilliant move. Well done to Richard Kent, who has gained a big number of places in this. Started down in 10th place on the 4th row of the grid, and now he has taken the lead of the race. Fabulous stuff. He will be handing over later on to Alex Brundle, but we've still got a little while, at least 12 minutes before they are allowed to come into pit to make a change. Interestingly though, Ollie Bryant has just set a new fastest lap, a 1:46.2, and I think Ollie may have actually already gone past Gary Pearson, because they were very close. Yes, there you are, look. He's just gone past Gary Pearson. He's now in 5th place. Yeah, storming through. Let's keep an eye on the second times. He lost a little bit of time, but as soon as Richard Kent has got past, he's blitzed the timing screen fastest of anybody in the first sector. So here's the start. Oh, that's close. I'll have to see that again to see. You've got to go when the flag drops. So we'll have a look. But a great launch initially by Adrian Newey. The number 7 getting squeezed slightly, the Cobra getting squeezed onto the grass, but they all managed to filter through quite nicely, all kept out of trouble. Now, this is the onboard we want to see. Onboard with Ollie Bryant. I mean, how many cars has passed already? 2, 3, 4. Just trying to stay out of trouble. Pick your side and stick with it. He's gone in the middle. Let's have a look. The number 9 tries to go around the outside. That's the Chevy Corvette, the Turner Corvette. Keeps it nice and gently, keeps to the outside. Does he have enough room? He does. Tucks in behind the Corvette. We'll keep an eye to see everyone keeping it nice and steady. It's a hard, tricky place to start. A lot of spray in front, and he dives down the inside of forward water through the puddles, the standing water, and
somebody had a spin.
Spinner.
Yeah, number
two car.
Joe Twyman in the Bizzarini, he had a spin, and it was that wet patch, so he did well to sort that.
Very well to sort that. It's hard to avoid when you're going around that corner in the dry, let alone the wet. But he's already on the back of the number 17, charging it down. That is the Wakeman and Kristensen Lister Jag Coupe, and he's really within touching distance. Set fastest lap that last time round. The gap at the front is extending. The Kent and Brundle Jag E-type starting to pull away at the front, but he's all over the back, kicking the rear out through the first part of St Mary's, sliding it through the second part. You can see the Lister in front also drifting over the road. Such tricky conditions here in that drying, damp phase of this race.
This could be a good exit, because look, the Fred was just a little bit wide, wasn't he, on the exit of Lavert, and now as they come on the straight, this is where the power comes to play. Squeeze it down.
A few more horses has the AC Cobra compared to the Lister, and that proves it right there. Steams round the outside, will then have the perfect line heading into Woodcote Corner. We can see just there, it's just starting to dry. A dry line is starting to form, which will favour the AC Cobras compared to the Jag E-types, but already up another spot.
Yeah, brilliant. This is Ollie Bryant, who's now into 4th position, having started from the back, from 29th position, effectively, and that is just superb. Now, what is going on up front? Well, Richard Kent is really pulling away. He's opened up a gap as they cross the line, 4.4 seconds, as you can see on our timing board. So he's really opening up this gap very, very effectively, I have to say. The E-type, the Cut 7 E-type is working beautifully well at this stage, and we'll just have to see how it continues, because, of course, with Alex Brundle, who's going to be taking this on, who has so much experience, a lot of success here at Goodwood, they're in a great place. They are in a very good place. He's already coming up to a little bit of traffic, but as you said, handing over to the 2016 European Le Mans Series champion, and that is Alex Brundle. He's been driving all sorts of cars here this weekend. Stick Alex and anything, and he is fast, and he certainly will be fast once he steps into the Jaguar. A bit further down the order, we've still got battles continuing wherever you look, some very close battles on circuit. We've got the 78, the Paul and Prio Jag E-type that won this race last year. In front, there's Adrian Newey, so he is still circulating. He's dropped from pole position down into P9, so he'll be hoping that Harrison Newey, his son, the 26-year-old former F3, F4 and Le Mans racer, will take over and push the E-type slightly further up the order than it is now. That's a good point, and actually because William Paul, who shares with Andy Prio, and they took that win last year, they're down there too. So you've got other sort of contenders potentially in that. But look at this now. Ollie Bryant is now challenging for 3rd place. He's right behind Bobby Verdon-Roe. And I'm not sure that Verdon-Roe's going to be able to do much in the way of defence in his AC Cobra, although he's a very rapid driver himself, of course, Bobby Verdon-Roe. And he's in the Smoke Eyes car, which has always gone well here at Goodwood. But the Snake Eyes, I should say, not Smoke Eyes, coming through the silver, past in the silver Cobra. I think this is going to be another easy move for Ollie Bryant. Yeah, he's going to take what is a potential podium already. Yeah, another one ticked off the list. And you can see the sun glinting off this drying circuit. Finally, the sun has come out here at Goodwood. He actually has the fastest lap of the race. And I've been keeping a close eye on the overall gap between him and the Kent Brundle Jag that's currently in the lead. It was around about 18 seconds. It's dropped to 17.7, and it's still stabilised as he tries to mix it through the traffic. But the Jag in the lead at the moment, the 88, has set fastest of anybody in the first sector. So Richard Kent still pushing out some solid lap times. Yeah, interestingly, Adrian Newey is now back up into 8th place. He's actually gained a position there. Faith Sam has dropped back just a place in the number 7 Cobra, and it's a real little bunch of cars together in that group at the moment. Gary Pearson, not too far away. Brian Caldwell actually in the number 72 car that he'll be sharing with David Brabham. That is a part of that in the top 10 as well. So this is the sort of lower group in the top 10, still potentially cars with an opportunity. They're all really bunched up together, aren't they? We've got this real mix of Cobras and E-types together in that group. Oh, and also joining in the fun and games, yeah, absolutely, towards the back is the Corvette, Greg Davis getting in there as well.
Yeah, so the Corvettes come from the back of the grid, just starting just in front of our number 1 car that's currently in 3rd place. So as you said, a great battle here between the Cobras, the Chevy, or one Chevy, and a couple of E-types. They head through Woodcock Corner now. Still dry patches starting to appear on the circuit. They've got quite a gap actually to the TVR, the Whittaker Ingram TVR in front of around about, well, it was last time round, which was about 12 seconds. So we'll keep an eye. There is the Corvette that started way down.
Oh, look at that, trying to put the power down. That's our story, because it's so powerful. Oh, is he actually putting over? Did something break off there? Because he had a lot of wheel spin, and I thought it was just the fact that it runs so much power. We know it's one of the most powerful, although one of the heaviest, but there's smoke too from the back. There is definitely a problem.
Yeah, well, I was just our camera crew doing a job to try and pick if there was a part that come off the car there, but there's the rear collapse, that smoke from the left rear. Let's have a little look. We can see now, Ben.
So is this something from the drive shaft? Oh, yes, look. Yes.
Yeah.
I think something, yeah, it looks like part of the drive shaft system has broken, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can see there, and that's just in front of, is that the number 78, the Jag E-type, just managed to avoid the parts flying off there. So good job there, but a real unfortunate for the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Let's see if they are pulled over on the side somewhere, or whether they are just bringing it back home. But times keep tumbling, Ben. We've got a new fastest lap, and it is from the car that starts at the very back of the grid. So Oliver Bryant, there's our debris, but Oliver Bryant now into the 136s, and yes, he's Craig Davis is able to pull the car off into a safe place on the side of the track, so well done there.
So shame for Darren Turner, who won't get to go and play, but a new fastest lap has been set by Ollie Bryant. Here you are looking at him in number 1, having started from the back of the grid. He is definitely in contention for race victory yet again this weekend. We'll find out. He's done a brilliant lap. He's done a 136.7, whereas those around him have been in the 137s, 139s, the majority in the 1-minute 40s. So it's very, very impressive the way he's closing up that gap. And even though we've got a 10-second lead at the moment, as Richard Kent has that advantage, I don't think it's going to last for very much longer. Meanwhile, we've got this fight going on further down for 9th. With the number 7 car, Saif Hassan, fighting, being fought at the moment by Alex Buncombe. Alex Buncombe in the number 24, having a little look down the inside, car that is sharing with Jack Tetley, and they were saying, you know, it isn't easy in the wet, but he's up against another Cobra, so it's just trying to find where can you get that little bit more grip to play with. Where's the outside line, the inside line, and he's just trying to have a look. Maybe a little look down the inside. No, not going to happen through the left-hander. As they come down towards Lavin, often you try and make a move, but quite often you wait actually and go onto the straight, get the toe, and then try and make it work. Let's see what happens here, Alice. Yeah,
having a look at Lavin corner to go around the outside, very difficult. You want to get the car stopped and get it rotated, and then get, if you can, on the gas as soon as possible. There's still all cars squirming on the exit there, down this very long, slight uphill straight. See the crowd packed on either side. He's having a look as they go through this very high-speed kink. Then they'll stamp onto the brakes, and actually that looks the driest part of the circuit. He's having a little look down the inside. Not enough room. The number 7, Sam, closes the door firmly. They'll bleed through the final part of Woodcock Corner, but right behind as well is the Caldwell and Brabham AC Cobra that's joining in the fight even more. They're going to have a little bit of traffic in front of them. That's the Suzuki and Ashwood Porsche 906 that will be a lap down. But there is Bryant now. He is closing the gap down to the overall lead. No, I say take that back. He's not closing it down. The gap was 17 seconds. It's now 19 seconds. And the Kent Brundle Jag has just set the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you're right. So Richard Kent's just gone fastest and is maintaining that lead in the number 88 car very, very effectively. But what it is meaning is that Ollie Bryant is closing up on second place. You could see the cream-coloured AC Cobra just up ahead, and there it is, number 79. That is currently in second place, and it's now coming under threat from the number 1 car that started from the back. So although he hasn't had fastest lap, and remember, sometimes you get the fastest lap here and don't when you're in the middle of traffic. He's dealing with quite a lot of traffic. They're all dealing with traffic now. They're already lapping the lower parts of the grid. So sometimes that can slow you down. There's no doubt, though, when you look at the track surface, you've got a pretty good line most of the way around. It's not fully dry. That is a little error there from Saeed Hassan. He is running in that top 10 battle, but I think that will have dropped him just outside the top 10 now. For a few cars have managed to sneak past him as he's been off the road. So that's going to, that'll frustrate him. He's going to be handing over to Gordon Shedden when he can. Let's have a look here. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, I wonder if there was any contact around, or it was just gone a little bit deep. Yeah, I just think went a bit too deep into Lavant corner and then managed to drift sideways on the grass. Good job not to spin it. The grass still saturated with water. But there we go, Ben. Pit lane is open. It's such a narrow pit lane here at Goodwood. Some cars will start coming into the pits all ready to hand over to the pro drivers. So we'll keep an eye out, see which drivers are coming in. But it's already, looking at my commentary box window, very busy out there.
Yeah, in fact, William Paul's going to be handing over to Andy Prio, and of course they were the winners last year, so they've called that at absolutely the right moment, the earliest time they can come in. Quite a few cars are now coming in for the pro drivers to go on board. In has come the race leader, in fact, so Alex Brundle is now getting on board, so they've done it very quickly, even though Smith was actually going extremely quickly and drove a fantastic first into that race.
Yeah, so Brundle getting strapped in, the mechanic helping on one side, and then Richard helping on the other side. So the Bryant car has not come in just yet, so they're staying out at the moment. Track continuing to drive. We saw Jake down there in pit lane with the helmet on. Still, look how congested and busy it is. So I wonder whether the Bryant Hill might just wait to let this congestion die down. I wonder if our 88 car is back out. Just have a little look. Just leaving the pit lane now.
Absolutely. So we're seeing some more changes now as well, as we are watching to see who comes out next. And I think that's Romain Dumas climbing on board. So he's taking over from Gary Pearson. As we saw, Richard Kent handing over to Alex Brundle, nice and early in all of this. And I think that is going to be a major contender as well. We shall see how Romain Dumas gets on. He's already had some pretty quick performances over the course of the weekend, but so has Ollie Bryant. And Ollie Bryant, who will be handing over to Jake Hill. How long before he comes into the pits? Well, there's the sign. He's going to be coming in, and we shall see how this goes once all of those front runners that make a stop do come in and make a pit stop.
Look how busy it still is down there in the pit lane, Ben. So they'll hope. We saw yesterday in the Stirling Moss, didn't we? It was so congested, so crammed. Some drivers had to wait. They were queuing in the pit lane. It was that busy. So here we'll stick and have a close look. Jake will throw Ollie out. Look, dragging him out. Come on, Ollie, get out there. They're very tight to get in. He'll then help Jake, who slots nicely in. Trust me, it's very hard to do your belts up with a helmet and a hands device on. So you always need someone there to aid you. And Ollie is doing a good job. Mechanic going around, making sure, checking to see if everything's okay. Some words of advice on the circuit there, passing on to Jake.
And remember, you have to be in the pits for a certain time before you get released, otherwise you get a penalty. So you can't just dash, you wait until the clock says, yes, you're there. And he's just waiting now, he goes. Okay, so away he goes, and Jake Hill now heading out in the number 1 car that started from the back, which has made incredible progress thanks to Ollie Bryant's initial drive, and you're riding on board with it now, and we'll get a bit of a better view when they are all out once again to see exactly where this is going to settle him into this race. Just I see at the moment. Certainly Alex Brundle is up ahead of it by a bit of a margin still, because Alex Brundle, having taken over from Richard Kent in that leading number 88 time that was so strong. This is the actual official leading car that Dario Franchitti is due to get into, but it's not a driver change as yet. So it's still Andrew Smith who is driving this car at this point. This is the official leader, but I have to tell you that Alex Brundle's in good shape and still ahead of Jake Hill. That could be a very interesting battle.
That could be a great battle. You can tell Rob Huff is on the circuit in the Jag E-type. He's just set the fastest out of anyone. They're down in 18th place as it stands at the moment. A few cars in front of them due to stop. That car once driven by Nigel Mansell many years ago. There is the 88 car, who is our theoretical leader, coming up to a little bit of traffic. An AC Cobra in front of them, trying to navigate. Alex will try and navigate this traffic as quickly as possible. We've also got the new E-type just in the front there as well.
But that's Gordon Shedden in the number 7 car now, so he took over from Saif Hassan. So you've got a different driver, so he's actually got a bit of a race on his hands in a way, isn't he? Even though he's a lap down, but he still might sort of hold him up a little bit. It's harder to get past him, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look out to see if there is some blue flags at all being waved out there. Remember, these drivers, they will get the blue flags, but they're in their own race at the same time. Can't see any at the moment, so Alex Brundle might be getting a little bit frustrated being stuck up behind him. But back to our drone cam. Oh, Brundle has gone off, maybe trying to get past Shedden or trying to clear the traffic in front.
And this will be interesting because Jake Hill was 8 seconds behind when they went over the line last. And presumably that will have brought him a little bit closer. He's still behind because he didn't lose too much time by running wide there, Brundle. In comes with the official leader that hadn't yet stopped, and it's Dario Franchitti is going to be taking on the driving. And this will obviously be a front runner as well, but will it be battling for the lead? I'm not so sure about it. As we ride on board with Jake Hill, and Jake also doing some lapping here. He's trying to close that gap down to Alex Brundle. Goes past the number 24 car. That is a car that was running reasonably well in that top 10 battle. We'll see how that operates. That has made the stop now as well. So Alex Buncombe is in there from just temporary as now it's Jake Hill just trying to pick up that pace a little bit further, but you can see that Cobra behind him has got just about the same pace as well, so he's got another fight on his hands, even though that car is effectively a lap down at this point from him.
So the gap at the front's closed down to 5.1 seconds now. Alex Brundle, so we'll try and see and find out what happens. He's just passing through shot there. Actually lost around about 3 to 4 seconds with his trip across the grass, so not as bad as we first thought. But there in shot, Jake Hill will be chasing down. He'll have the Jag in his sights. There we go, through the second part, should I say, of St Mary's, using a little bit of inside curve as Alex Brundle takes it all the way out to the side of the track. So let's have a look, Ben.
Yeah, so this is when Alex, it went wrong for Alex. So he took the wide line. Oh my goodness, he did well to get it back on without losing much time there. And he was just, all he was trying to do was use a wide line, but he discovered it was still very slippery out there.
Yeah, still super slippery, and very good control to get that back onto the circuit, because actually we saw Jake Hill, was it last year, it ventured off into the wall there, so Jake will know how slippy it is. But there in the shot, and seems to be getting closer, is the AC Cobra of Hill.
But I tell you what, as you mentioned, there are some other fastest sectors coming up from other people, and both Rob Huff and Tom Ingram are putting together some very good laps. Ingram had just gone fastest a moment ago, and now it's Rob Huff again. They're quite a long way down. Ingram is down in 9th place, Rob Huff in 12th, and you've got Jake Hill up here in 2nd. So these are all current British Touring Car racers who have all been winning races in the British Touring Car Championship this year. They are all putting in remarkably impressive laps at this point.
As we expect, and this what makes Goodwood so special, whether it's a members meeting or revival. We get a whole host of fantastic drivers come along, and here we are following the quickest car on the track, Rob Huff behind the wheel of the E-type, and he was so excited. He was like a kid at Christmas on the grid, desperate. He wants a bit of rain. It's not come for him, and doesn't look like it's coming at the moment, but it's not slowing him down at all. Still setting fantastic pace out there.
but he's down in 12th place, so he's got a lot of work to do. He's going to be catching some other car. Oh, and we've got a car stopped at the side, and that's Romain Dumas. Oh, we've got the onboard camera with Romain. What has happened here, I wonder? I'm
guessing that's an issue. He's trying to reset. He has actually pulled off into a safe place, so yeah. He's in the runoff, or the escape road, we could call it, is the chicane. So good job for pulling it off to the side. Looks like he was just doing a reset, turning it on and off again. Yellow flag is out down there, so no overtaking for those that are getting close. And wow, Ben, look, lead, it's close. It's very, very close.
On the challenge here, we've all got a battle for the lead already. You're on board with Jake Hill in second place. He's fighting the leader, Alex Brundle, in the E-type. And there's nothing between them to choose at this stage. The track is drying up a little bit, but as we've already seen, it's easy to make mistakes. Alex Brundle did make a little mistake just a bit further down the lap. A moment ago, now to the inside. Oh no, guys, don't make contact. Oh my goodness, there's no need for that. Jake Hill backs out, and they, for a moment, side by side, they're still behind each other. Is Jake going to have another little look? He's being cautious now. He's going to choose a moment where he feels he can get past. This was the area that Alex went wide. He's kept it together so far.
Yeah, he has. Jake will be used to a bit of door rubbing, wheel bashing in British touring cars. It really looks like both drivers are absolutely pushing it to the very edge. It's going to be hard, I have to say, for Brundle to keep the more powerful AC Cobra behind. They're going through that big corner now. We have that long straight all the way down to Woodcote. So let's have a little look to see if he's able to keep it behind. Which side is Jake going to choose? Sticks behind for the moment.
Goes to the left, that's the outside line effectively going into the final Matchwick section. That's a tricky place. Where's the grip as well, because we've still got the track drying out. It's not a fully wide dry track. There are dry areas, and at the moment he still hasn't been able to find a way past. But remember, we've got just under half an hour to go with this race. It's not like he has to make it happen right now. He can build it up. There's still that yellow flag down at the show. Oh, the safety car, right, okay. So safety car period because of that car that we saw of Romain Dumas having pulled over. And my goodness, let's take a look at the contact. I noticed there is a little bit of a dent now on the E-type.
Yeah, and I think, in fairness to Alex, it was just a bit of a snake on the throttle as he was moving over. It was not intentional at all to squeeze Jake that much. These are so powerful, really powerful machines, and well done to Jake for holding it. Didn't even bat an eyelid. Look, he didn't even wave a hand. He knows it's close racing. He probably understood as well that Alex didn't mean to there, but. We get to breathe for a moment at least anyway, Ben.
You're on board with Jake Hill. He's getting to breathe as well. But what a battle he is putting on. Remember, this is the car that started from the back with Ollie Bryant driving it initially, who made up tremendous territory through so many cars. And now that Jake's got it, he's really battling for the lead, and very little to choose. But there is, as you say, a little bit of a moment to take a breath or two, take a little break, just strap himself in a bit more tightly.
Yeah, he's pushing so much that his belt has slipped off his hands device. He was just trying to move it back onto his hands device, you could see there, but gives them all a chance to regroup. Just looking outside now, that stricken Romain Dumas car has not been moved. The lights appear to still be on it as well, but having a little rundown, Ben, still a couple of cars that's still required to pit.
Yeah, I agree with that, and let's just run through the list at the moment, actually, because it's Alex Brundle who's driving now in the lead car, Jake Hill in second place. So Dario Franchitti, who took over the number 79 AC Cobra, now running in third place. Andre Lotterer is now in fourth place in the car he's sharing with Bobby Rowe. Tom Kristensen is now out, of course, and he's just been putting together a pretty good lap. But behind, Tom Ingram in the TVR that started from the very front row of the grid, that has just set fastest lap before the safety car came out, a 1:25.8, and that is very much the quickest. We're seeing others into the 1:26s up near the front. Jake Hill had done a 1:26, but nonetheless, Tom Ingram has put together a good lap, and he is now in sixth position. And the other advantage, of course, now, Alice, is that we've got a safety car, and it just closes all the gaps up. So whatever gap you were behind, now you're right in a pack of cars once again.
Yeah, you certainly are, and the marshals are still down there trying to move the Dumas and Pearson car that's obviously got some kind of mechanical issue, the Jag E-type lightweight stricken down there, and I wonder if it's almost, oh no, they are pushing it now. I can see out of the commentary box window, but look how much and how quickly the track has dried, and Woodcote corner, which they're going through now, looks the driest of all.
Yeah, it's a great shame that this car is not going to make it through, but I tell you what, I think we're going to end up with 11 cars basically together across the line before we get into cars that have been lapped. And you've got some of the superstar drivers in those 11 cars on a track that's drying out that might suit some of those cars that are further back now. So it could lead to a lot of interest. Let's just take a bit more of a view of the onboard earlier on. This was from the start earlier on.
Gary Pearson.
Yeah.
So you can see very congested going down into turn one. Does he brave it? No, he actually gets one of the cars that got squeezed onto the grass, but he made a good clean start. No bumping of doors, no bashing of wind mirrors at the moment. He manages to gain a couple of places, so Gary, it's a real shame, got a really good start there and was able to gain a couple of spots through the water. Was also maybe, well, looking to switch for the wipers actually is what he was doing as he casually went through the kink at Ford Water. Oh,
that must have been a bit of a challenge. Another view. This is from the man on the front row, Fred Wakeman, in that beautiful coupe-style Lister. And, yeah, it didn't quite go to plan in the same way. It wasn't a great getaway. Lost a few places from the outside of that front row.
Yeah, down in 5th place at the moment. Tom Kristensen has taken aboard 9-time Le Mans winner and holds the record as well for the most wins at Le Mans, but you can see the bonnet flapping a little bit from the Lister Jag Coupe, but dropped back slightly. But with Kristensen behind the wheel, he will definitely, that car will, I expect, will be moving up 1 or 2 spots potentially. So lights on the safety car are still flashing, Ben, so we've got a little bit more time to let's actually see. Maybe
it won't be long.
No, the car has been moved, so there we go, right on cue, and what we like to see, the lights on the safety car are out.
So you've got this sort of lead group pretty close together now, although Jake's got to quickly catch back up again. 3rd place Dario Franchitti, so there are some lapped cars in between in a couple of places, but not between the top 2. And they want to try and get them all together if possible. As I mentioned, 11 cars are on the lead lap. Oh, that all got a bit tight. They weren't all expecting it to be slowed down so much. I think, I'm wondering actually, the safety car almost asked them to sort of get together a little bit more, slow it down. Right, now it's Alex Brundle who has the front line to try and get away from Jake Hill, who was already putting under massive pressure. And you can see the power of that AC Cobra, as ever, the big American V8 engine in the front end of an AC Cobra. When you've got the grip that you can actually go to full throttle, it can be an advantage over the 6-cylinder E-type. So let's just see whether there is going to be an opportunity here. Defensive goes Alex, that's quite right, but round the outside is Jake's opportunity. Does it? He goes round the outside. Jake Hill takes the lead in a car that started from the back of the grid.
Sensational, that is fantastic. I did say Alex Brundle will be hard to fence with the extra power that the Cobra has, and also the Cobra is better suited to dry conditions, which is near enough what we have at the moment. So great job though by Jake Hill. He now has clear track in front of him. We've still got some of the lapped cars. You can see in the background there the Chevrolet in amongst our front-running cars. So the blue flags will be out to allow them through. But this is just the restart that Jake wanted, not so much for Alex Brundle.
Absolutely right, and the restart, of course, always allows for some more battles. This one's way down. This is down in 24th position, in fact. But a race leader there, Jake Hill, now ahead of Alex Brundle running in 2nd. Dario Franchitti, number 79, the cream car. They're also going past the lap car, but still under a bit of pressure from behind as well. And that's all a bit tight, isn't it? In fact, going up the inside there is Andre Lotterer. So Andre Lotterer, number 94, he's managed to hit through. That 24 car is actually not part of it. They are a lap down. But that car there, Andre Lotterer, is closing up on Franchitti now that he's getting past these lap cars. And Andre Lotterer could well be threatening in the battle for 3rd place.
Let's have a look. Pit window is now reopened, and we're going to have a little look at the time to keep an eye. The Franchitti car chasing down the Brundle Jag is slightly faster on that lap last time round. I've been told in my ear that they are adding 3 minutes onto this race for the time we lost in the safety car, which is, of course, fantastic news. We get to see some close action, and these cars are being pushed to their absolute limit around this dry and Goodwood circuit, and it's actually Dario Franchitti that is fastest in the first sector compared to those in front and behind.
That very distinctive number 17, the Lister Jaguar Coupe, that is now Tom Kristensen, and it is beginning to come through. As you can see, you're on board with him now. You're riding with Tom Kristensen, the super multiple Le Mans winner, and he has gone, that is a lapped car that he's gone past, so he hasn't gained another position yet, but Tom Kristensen is not far behind Andre Lotterer and Dario Franchitti, so still very much in the fight, potentially for a podium. It may be a bit harder to go after the win, because Jake Hill is just easing away up front. He's got a 2.1 second lead now, I think. Well, maybe more than that, actually. Let's just see as they go over the line. 4.1 it is.
Yeah, Franchitti, though, he is all over the back of Brundle, so he's going to hope to try and clear Alex, who will, of course, put up a strong defence to try and keep Franchitti and the AC Cobra behind. But Dario will know that he's got the legs on the Jag, and he'll want to get past him as quickly as possible, because, like you said, Jake Hill out front has really stretched the gap much more than it was a lap ago, and battle's still raging on slightly further down, so we will have a good battle, I believe, for these podium places.
And it's rather fun watching Dario Franchitti in that Cobra, the number 79. It's one of the relatively rare original right-hand drive AC Cobras. It was built as one of the first of the 3 initial independent Cobras with right-hand drive, and it's been a very competitive car, competing here in the past as well, and this is a real opportunity.
Yeah, the Cobra fighting on all cylinders, trying to get past the Jag. Alex Brundle's covering the inside. Izzy, they head into Woodcock Corner, late on the brakes for both cars. You see that both desperately trying to get the car stopped. Slightly different lines in suited to one car to the other. Brundle really taking it all the way to the edge of the track, desperately trying to keep the charging Dario Franchitti behind. So he's done a good job this lap round to keep the Cobra back. How much longer can he keep him behind, Ben?
Yeah, and both of them being joined, as you say, then as well by Andre Lotterer. So this is proving to be a very, very interesting fight. This is all about second place at the moment. And Rob Huff, by the way, still going very, very quickly. Rob Huff has set another fastest lap. He is currently in 7th position, but he's got a bit of a gap to try and move up. Meanwhile, here's the battle for second place. Dario Franchitti up the inside. Franchitti has got past Alex Brundle. Can he hang on to it? It's looking very promising.
Yeah, he's managed to sand it down the inside into the first part of St Mary's, but look out, Lotterer's having a look on Brundle as well. He's going to opt for the outside into Lavant Corner. Is he braving it, or is he going to force Brundle to defend and try and get... You can see the front inside wheel of the Cobra just lifting up, not quite got enough to get the cut back. Look at it, using a little bit of curve as well as they're charging up the slightly uphill Lavant straight. He's going to have a look round the outside of the King. Has he made it, Ben? I think he might have just.
Yeah, but they're both being caught by the TVR behind of Tom Kristensen, number 86. So he's joining in as well. Front, a bit of a shake in the front bodywork there. I think it's okay. Maybe it's just the front bonnet. But Ingram, Tom Ingram is very much a part of this. Kristensen is behind them a little bit further back. But Tom Ingram is flying along, just as Mike told us earlier. Mike Whitaker, who started in the car, look at this, he's got to get a three-way battle now. Round the outside goes Andre Lotterer. Andre Lotterer gets 3rd place, past Alex Brundle, but Brundle may well lose 4th place any moment.
Yeah, he might, and I'm just looking at our timing screens, and Brundle's about to lose another place to Tom Ingram, but we've got a possible penalty coming up for the Wakeman and Kristensen and the Kent and Brundle car. I'm not sure what those are for at the moment, some kind of infringement, maybe a pit stop one, but we'll keep you updated. Rob Huff has now set another fastest lap. He's absolutely flying and closing down the gap to those in front of him, but out front the Bryant Hill car is continuing to open a gap. Tom Ingram now, look at him, he's all over the back of the Verdun Row and Lotterer 94.
Yeah, but Tom Kristensen is also having fun here. As you say, there are kind of two battles going on here. Here comes Tom Ingram on the outside in the number 86 TVR, and all the way round, and he's made it look very straightforward. That TVR is absolutely flying, isn't it, at the moment? It's the only TVR on the race, the TVR Griffith from 1964 that had history of racing here at Goodwood in the 1960s. Lovely to see it running so competitively here once again, and Tom Ingram gaining another position. We'll move up the inside, that's a bit further back. Meanwhile, also, we're keeping an eye on some other battles. There's Rob Huff, number 5, who's setting these very rapid lap times. He is currently though in 7th place, but I think he might be about to gain a few. That's actually a lap car that he's going past now, but he's trying to catch Alex Brundle. He's still a few seconds away though. He's still 6 seconds away. He's still got plenty of work to do to catch Alex Brundle.
Traffic can come into play as well, remember. Franchitti has closed the gap down to Jake Hill at the front. Was over 7 seconds, it's now 6.5. Huff still doing a great job, currently holding fastest lap. He will know, he'll just keep pushing to the very end. We've got just under 19 minutes remaining, still unsure of the penalties, but Rob's trying to clear the traffic and get through the 24, which is it is being lapped at the moment. Slightly further down the aisle, that's the Tetley Buncombe AC Cobra, so he's found his way through. But it's an impressive lap times topping up, and actually the Ingram car is flying, and that isn't too far behind. Say that, Tom Ingram's just done the best of anybody in the middle sector, and he's only 1.6 seconds behind. Well, that's definitely not 1.6 seconds now. He's right up to the back of the Franchitti car.
You're right. I mean, Ingram's pace right now, here you are watching Tom Ingram. His pace is fantastic. Right, we've just had a note that they are 10-second penalties for pit stop infringements, as you thought they might well be. And here comes Ingram. Tom Ingram moves it up into 2nd place. The number 86 TVR that started on the front row originally with Mike Whittaker lost a few places in the wet. It was very tricky. So it is pit stop infringements that have affected the cars of Tom Kristensen and Alex Brundle. They've both been given 10-second penalties, so we need to add that 10 seconds to their list that we're being seen at the moment, and of course that really will affect them. It doesn't really give them any chance now to take victory. Brundle has already been losing places, and I'm actually surprised at the pace that Rob Huff has got in an E-type right now, because, you know, we've been talking about how the Cobras have got such good horsepower, and that's what's been working for them. But Huff has been flying along in the number 5 E-type. There he is. He's still got a bit to find, but he is catching that group up the front. I wonder, with the 10-second penalties up ahead of him, maybe there's still a chance for a podium, although it's not going to be easy. Right.
Here's one of our penalty cars, Tom Kristensen, changing down gears, coming into Woodcook corner now, running wide, just about making the apex. So he may be aware, I'm not sure they do show it on the start line if they have penalties. Sometimes they do. I'll have a check out the commentary box window to see if I can see anything. But he may not know, or he may know he's got a penalty. But certainly the battle's slightly further down between the 17 and the 94. We're just on board with big Tom Kristensen. He's now under pressure.
Yeah, he's under pressure from a great Le Mans racer himself as well, of course, Andre Lotterer. And let's see how it's going to go between these two. It's going to be fascinating to see with all the experience that they have. And we'll see. Oh, we've got it coming into the pits, so car number 3 with a problem there. That's one of the E-types from further back down the order. And Frank Stittler, I think, is in the car now, but obviously it must be a mechanical issue, sadly, that has brought that to a halt. Jake Hill still comfortably out in front at the moment, but it's Tom Ingram in 2nd place, who is setting those incredibly rapid laps. The gap is between them, and it was 5.5 seconds when they last crossed the line. But I think on these, looking at the sector times, Ingram is definitely a little bit quicker than Jake Hill at this point.
Yeah, he is. Last time round, at 9/10 of a second, he was quicker than our race leader, and this is something we're used to seeing, isn't it, Ben? Tom Ingram and Jake Hill both fighting at the front of the British Touring Car Championship. Jake leading Tom Ingram at the moment by 9 points, so it's extremely close between the two of them. And again, another fastest lap by Tom Ingram. He's the first car to break into the 1:23s during this race. He's closing the gap. 4.7 seconds is the gap now. He's going to have a little bit of traffic from the Porsche 906 that's just in front of him, but you can see it's going to be a real workout for Tom, constantly fighting the wheel, and meanwhile Alex Brundle still in some battle. Rob Huff has just passed him and has gone on through, moving up a place.
Yeah, he has. So Rob Huff has gained that other place. We know that Brundle's got this 10-second penalty anyway, so he would have been beaten by him anyway, but this is important for Rob Huff to try and get as far up as he can. The next one that he will be going for is about 6 seconds ahead, and that is Andre Lotterer. So there's still plenty of work to be done. Whether he's going to be able to have the pace, what have we got? Just under 15 minutes still to go in this race. It's proven to be an absolutely fascinating race. But what a performance by both Ollie Bryant and Jake Hill. They have control right now. They have the lead of 4.7 seconds, and although Tom Ingram has great pace, I have to say Jake Hill is responding to that and doing virtually the same sector times around the lap. A fraction slower in the middle sector. He's just done a personal best in the final sector as you watch Rob Huff. That lovely slide. This car's got a beautiful balance, and Rob loves it so much. He really enjoys the flow that it has. Be careful not to get on the grass though, because then you lose with a bit of wheel spin.
Yeah, he just makes it look easy, doesn't he, Rob Huff? He's pushing the car to its absolute limit. He's got a bit of a gap to close to the Vernon Lotterer car, which is the next car for him to track down. Still keeping an eye on this battle for the lead. It's stabilised a little bit, but saying that Tom Ingram's just on the fastest first sector of anyone. There is our lead car. Actually, this car won the RAC TT Celebration race back in 2021. Will it win another one today? Well, not long until we find out. 13 minutes of the race remaining.
Absolutely right. Meanwhile, Dario Franchitti in third place. He is under a bit of pressure there from Tom Kristensen. You're on board with Tom Kristensen. Tom is currently running in fourth on track, but he does have a 10-second penalty that will be applied later. It won't stop him racing now, though. If he can find a way past Dario Franchitti, still an advantage, because then, of course, your 10-second penalty will drop you slightly less far back, hopefully, from his point of view. But let's see, because Dario, of course, had a brilliant win last night. He's in confident mood. In a different car today, but he seems to be enjoying himself, so it's not going to be easy for Tom Kristensen to overtake.
No, it's not. Ingram, again, another fastest lap, and I'm just looking on our map tracker to see where they are. Jake Hill is about to approach some more lapped cars. I think he's got 2 or 3 in front of him, so that he'll be hoping that he's able to clear that quite quickly. We can still see that the car of Dario Franchitti, the Cobra, under pressure from the Lister Jag, and that Lister Jag creeping up to the back. They go through Ford Water, and then they'll head into the first part of St Mary's, and then into the second part. Let's have a look. I think our leader, Jake Hill, is now on the back, or at least in amongst the traffic. He's just going through Lavant, so this is where our cars slightly further back now. Our second and third and fourth cars, should I say, heading through. So we'll keep an eye on the traffic for our leaders.
Yeah, so there's a lot to watch out for in the remainder of this race, with 11.5 minutes to go, as we're still focusing a little bit on that battle for third place at the moment. But we've also got Andre Lotterer here. He is running in 5th place in theory at this stage, although he would actually move up to 4th anyway, because he's less than 10 seconds behind Tom Kristensen. But he is being caught gradually by Rob Huff, so we'll keep an eye on that particular gap. It was 5.6 seconds when they last went over the line. So we'll see how that goes on this lap, because we know Rob is also lapping very quickly. Not quite as quick now as Tom Ingram. There's our race leader. And the gap this time when they went over the line has come down to 2.6 seconds. So there is no doubt Ingram is going quicker every lap at this stage. He got the fastest first 2 sectors on that lap. New fastest lap. And Jake Hill has not got this all in his bag just yet, because that car chasing him, the TVR, is rapid.
Yeah, I wonder if Tom's just come across a little bit of traffic, trying to see. I think he's cleared it from the shot in the background. Let's have a look. Yes, he is. He's managed to clear the lap traffic. So these two drivers now will be absolutely pushing to the limit. There's more traffic in front for Jake Hill, and once he clears these couple of cars, there you can see on your screen there, and he then will have a bit of free air to try and rack some laps in, or at least try to rack some laps. And he's just going past the Porsche 904, the Hero car, Hero behind the wheel, and then navigating his way past the Sunbeam. He's managed to do so he gets a clean run into the chicane. Next up will be Tom Ingram, who gets ever so close to the barriers on the right and then the left in the chicane, and Tom's going to hope that he's going to clear them down the straight, and just like that, he easily does.
He's down to 1.8 seconds. Look, this is like the British Touring Car Championship. The gap between them at the moment in the British Touring Car Championship is 9 points between these two in British Touring Cars. They've both taken several wins in touring cars. They are going to be battling for the title this year, the 2024 title. And now they're going to be battling for the RAC TT race here at Goodwood. And we're going to see how it works out, because the speed Ingram's got, we've got just over 9 minutes to go. It's not going to be easy. Once he's caught Jake, it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to get past him.
Exactly, and Jake will possibly know what Ingram's driving style's like. They know each other very well from racing each other. As you said, in touring cars, they've actually had a similar route to get to where they have in their careers today. Both starting their car careers in Ginetta Juniors many years ago, back when I was sort of just leaving Ginetta Juniors, so I know these two drivers very well, always up for a laugh, and most importantly, so fast on the track. So I'm really excited to see if he can close that gap. And looking at the sectors, it's going to be even closer. And actually, we don't need the sectors, Ben. We just need to look at the screen.
I agree. They've both been getting a pretty clear lap this lap. There's not been too much traffic around, but there's no doubt that Tom in the TBR has got a little bit better pace than Jake Hill in the AC Cobra. Over the line they go, 1.1 seconds. Well, there's no DRS to offer if they go under a second. It's all about normal racing from the period, but it'll still be a real opportunity when he's nearly under a second away from the race leader. And remember, one car started from the front of the grid, one car started from the back. Currently, the car that started from the back is leading. The car that started from the front is in second, but chasing him down. Yeah,
you can see actually the compression of the TBR. It went through a very bumpy section of Fourwater into St Mary's. So much so the bodywork blew a puff of smoke as it rubbed onto the tyre. So Tom pushing to the absolute limit. Jake will be fully aware. I'm sure he'll have a pit board out as well, and the team giving him information of the gap, but he won't need that because he can see the TBR coming up behind. So great stuff from these two racing. 7.5 minutes left to go. They're charging down the straight now. The roaring engine, the roaring V8 from the AC Cobra, heavy onto the brakes into Woodcote, and he's got ever so closer. Tom just able to have a bit more grip as he goes through Woodcote, and he's going to be right on him by the time they get to the chicane.
Yeah, he's not attacking just yet, but Jake taking an interesting line to get a good traction out. He's using that power to get a good traction out of the chicane. That's where the Cobra has that little bit of advantage. But you can see in those fast... Woodcote is not the fastest corner. This is a very fast corner. I want to see the difference here between the two cars. Is there much of a difference in pace? If anything, the Cobra is good through there. It did look through Woodcote, which is a slightly slower corner, that the TVR has the advantage in the slightly slower corners. There's not much difference in the faster ones.
Yeah, oh look at that shot, getting very close, not much room there. Tom getting actually a kick of oversteer. That's probably that hampered his exit compared to Jake Hill. Sectors are fairly similar. First one, actually, Tom Ingram is slightly faster, but he's again back as they head into Lavin corner. They'll then have the very long straight down to Woodcote. So Jake will be foot to the floor as hard as he can to get the Ford V8 underneath the bonnet of the Cobra, absolutely pumping, and the TVR of Tom Ingram will sneak into the toe, and it looks like he's just streaming it in as they head into the brakes.
Yeah, and this is where we saw that Tom actually is very quick through this section, and again, he's able to break that a little bit later and then maintain a little bit more speed through the corner. You see, he's got it right in behind, but then on the exit of here, Jake focuses very much on the traction, getting a straight line and using the horsepower, and it does then maintain the gap. Doesn't actually really pull him away, but it means that it's not an area Tom can initially attack, but he can under braking. Oh no, he's got a wheel on the grass, but he's on the inside. Now Jake's going to come back on the inside and try and retake it once again, which he does. My goodness, the two British touring car stars at this current time in 2024, they are having such a fight here at Goodwood.
Yeah, you hear the gasp from the crowd as well, the cheers. You can tell without looking at the history that they're touring car drivers. They don't always need to use the tarmac, they use the grass as well, and I'm glad that Tom was able to get that stop. Now they're coming into the sector, they've come into the sector, should I say, which is seems to be stronger for the TVR, and it's got good power up to Lavant, and then down the back straight. Again, we're looking at the back of Tom Ingram. You can see desperately fighting on the wheel. Look at the lean, even the front inside wheel bobbing and just lifting momentarily off the ground. The same, similar can happen with the Cobra. But here, the charge, once again down into Woodcote.
We've got 4.5 minutes to go. Is he going to have a move into Woodcote? This is always one of the most difficult areas to overtake. Not impossible, but very, very challenging. And if a clever leader just positions the car in the correct place, it makes it very difficult for the driver behind. Tom stays behind for the moment, but the gap is very small. Now, the exit of this chicane, crucial as well. Don't put a wheel too wide. They both did that beautifully. And as they head down in towards Madwick, this was where the attack went last time. Is it going to happen this time? No traffic around, and it looks as though Jake Hill's got a pretty clear run in.
As I said, they'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Maybe not so much in these cars, but Tom's been behind a number of laps now, heading into Ford Water. Oh, I thought he was going to have a look down the inside. Thinks better of it, gets a kick of over to there's a puff of smoke I was talking about. Jake's covering the inside line into St Mary's. Oh, we have a spinner, a couple of spinners.
That's a battle for third place.
That's our battle for third. You're right there, but back with the leaders, and Tom wasn't able to go down the inside, and that's damage for the Tom Kristensen car.
And Lotterer has gained advantage, but in the meantime, as you say, Tom Ingram is having another look here. And I think traffic could be a big issue for the pairing here, because if they get caught up in any single bit of traffic, which one is it going to hurt more? Because they are absolutely together at this stage, but that's part and parcel of when you're racing. You have to deal with traffic. Here comes Tom Ingram as close as ever, but Jake Hill as late on the brakes as he can be, yet maintaining control of the speed through the first part of Woodcote, tightening up into the second part. Get on the power, but then oh yes, they are dealing with some traffic, but that was actually relatively straightforward. That didn't hurt Jake Hill. They're both coming out of the chicane in much the same sense, but there is so little to choose between them. Jake Hill and the number one AC Cobras still in front of this brilliant TVR from the 1960s, both 1960s sports cars. But let's see how this works out, because we've got current superstar British touring car drivers who are fighting for the championship this year in very different cars, and yet fighting just as hard as we've seen them through the rest of the year at other British circuits.
Yeah, so close, so brave. He's going to try and get the switch back and have a look. Sell Jake the dummy. Jake's wise, he's experienced. He says, no, not today. Thank you, Mr. Ingram, and lives to fight another day as they head through St Mary's. 2 minutes left to go of this race. At the moment, Jake with the upper hand, but he's soaking up immense pressure. He's like a sponge, taking the pressure from Tom Ingram in the TVR. I'm having a look. Have they got traffic? Not a lot of traffic ahead of them, so they have got clear space. And Tom is getting all out of shape on the exit of Lavant.
Oh my goodness, he's got a chance to get alongside this time. Tom Ingram is alongside, he's got in front. Can he stay in front? This is a place he can probably break a little later. But Jake Hill, this is where the car has a good little bit of pace. But is Jake going to be able to come back at him? You're on board with Jake Hill. Is he going to find a way down the inside into the chicane? No. He settles back, tries to get the good exit. It's out of this one that the Cobra is sometimes very rapid. But Tom Ingram has got the lead. We've got just over a minute to go. Tom Ingram is now pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, the TVR's got the legs on the Cobra down the straight, so it was so close, heart and mouthed up, but great job by both of those drivers. We're going to catch a replay, and so late and so brave on the brakes from Tom Ingram. He was through and passed by the braking zone, and Jake did a good job at trying to get the Cobra stopped as well. But really nice, what a battle. And we have gone on to the final lap of the race as well, Ben, I believe. And Tom Ingram already, he's pulled a gap from Jake Hill.
I've just had a message from Aaron who's very proud about all this. Another British Touring Car champion, Jason Plato, saying they're both protégés of mine in the KX Academy. He's delighted to see what's been going on, these British Touring Car stars. But I have to say, Tom Ingram and Jake Hill have put on great show here.
Yeah, they have. Jason, I'm sure, as you said, proud protégés of him back in the day. But what a race. What a comeback, firstly, from the AC Cobra of Jake Hill and Ollie Bryant starting at the back of the grid. But from Tom Ingram as well. He's had to fight his way through to get back up the front. Jake actually is fairly close going into the chicane. I don't think he's going to be close enough, though.
So here we go then, coming into the chicane after this incredible battle that has existed throughout the race. And coming across the line to take the checker flag, and victory goes to Tom Ingram and Mike Whitaker in the TVR. Second place goes to Jake Hill and Ollie Bryant. And let's just catch our third place battles that have been going on as well. It looks as though it is going to be Dario Franchitti who takes that third place after a great run that they had in the early part with Andrew Smith as well. So Dario's had a good weekend, second podium for him. It's a second, I think it's a third podium for Ollie Bryant, but he didn't quite get the win this time that Ollie was getting yesterday. Fourth place for Verdon Rowe and Lotterer. Rob Huff with Richard Mines got up to fifth place in the end. Gordon Shen with Taika Sam, they got up into sixth place. Tom Kristensen has taken seventh, and the other cars now just coming over the line. Well, what a remarkable race that was, as Jake Hill just misses out in the end. Oh.
We feel it too, Jake.